Hi, my name is Tyler Campbell, and this is my You Be the Judge project. The title of this case is Civil Rights Laws. Short hair is a must. Now, in this case, the plaintiff's name is Jimmy, and the defendant is good old Bank of America. So, the facts of this case. Jimmy has been working at Bank of America for 7 years now. Recently, new management just took over. And the new management's desire is to appear more professional and to overall increase the amount of people that use the Bank of America as their banks. So one of the new policies they made is that everybody's hair, the bankers and everybody within the company's hair, must be short length. Now, Jimmy has an afro, and it looks a lot better than mine, that's for sure. And he's had this afro for a long time now. And like I said, he's worked for 7 years and been one of the most successful bankers at the company. He always gets good reviews and has been Employee of the Month and Employee of the Year on numerous occasions. So he feels a little bit discriminated against since there are some Caucasians in the company that have slightly longer hair but are not required to cut it. But he's an African American with a full afro, and they told him that he needs to cut his hair. So that is where this case is at. Some issues for concern, of course, is racial discrimination. Jimmy feels racially discriminated against because of the fact that he needs to cut his hair when there are people within the company that aren't being asked to do so. Of course, this is a law that was passed, the Civil Rights Act of 1968, that prevents companies from discriminating against employees based on their physical appearance or race. So, there's, of course, support and evidence for both sides, for the plaintiff and for the defendant. For the plaintiff, of course, when you look at it, there are other employees that haven't been asked to cut their hair when their hair is a little bit long in length, right? And he's been working for 7 years and has had plenty of success. So is hair really the issue? Now, of course, on the defendant's side, they aren't only singling out Jimmy. It just feels that way, but it's a company-wide policy that they're going to have for everybody. So it's not them trying to pick on one person. That's at least what they're claiming. For more evidence for the plaintiff, of course, Jimmy has had plenty of success, and there's nothing that says afros are unprofessional when it comes to appearance. Of course, if you do it right, unlike mine right now, it looks quite nice. And as a banker, he still shows up every day dressed to a T in business attire with always clean facial hair. If he has facial hair, he clean shaves sometimes. Other times he makes sure that's nice and trimmed and nice. His hair doesn't look out of place at all. So that's just more evidence for him. And some more evidence for the defendant is there are other companies that have the same type of policy. Some other banks too. Doesn't necessarily make it more justifiable, but if there are other companies doing it and they're competing with these other companies to be the best, they're just trying to follow in those footsteps. Now comes the judge's verdict. The judge ultimately decided and found the defendant guilty due to the fact that it does feel very discriminatory that an afro is considered unprofessional or too long, especially because it's not, at the end of the day, hair doesn't affect how you perform at this job as a banker, and he's performed quite well. The plaintiff has performed quite well over the years. Cutting his hair is not going to make him perform any better, as he already has had plenty of positive reviews. And overall, this policy doesn't seem to have quite the effect that the defendant was looking for. A dress code is understandable. When it comes to hair, unless it's quite out of place, it doesn't quite seem right here. So overall, the defendant was found guilty.